everybody, and welcome to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. And today we're going to be doing a very special flight saying farewell to the American Airlines MD-80 as we bring it over to the Roswell International Air Center, where it'll be dismantled and parted out and possibly some of them sold to other airlines. Now, this will be American Airlines flight number 9605, and this was the very last one that flew from Chicago over to Roswell. So we'll just be mimicking that flight, doing it around the same time, same weather parameters, and just celebrating what the MD-80 did for American Airlines throughout all these years. So this is skyvector.com that I've drawn the route out so you can see the exact way we'll be going. This is the exact route that they did. Got it off FlightAware. I forgot to capture it the day of the actual flight, but luckily on Google I did some digging and somebody had screen capped all that, so I was able to fly the exact route. Just a few waypoints, and then we'll be on the Juliet 26 airway, which is just going to bring us straight over to Albuquerque. No SIDS or stars on this route, and I think Albuquerque doesn't even have any stars, so just going to be like a downwind approach over there for what'll be runway 3. But yeah, that's going to be the route, and let's get on with it. The tug is arriving. We're going to do the pushback, and then we'll taxi over to runway 10 left. So let's get on with that.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Starting the number 2 engine. Now, I'm using the Laminar MD-80 here. Probably the best one for X-Plane 11 is the Rotate MD-80, but I don't have it. I didn't want to purchase it for this one flight. I just don't see myself flying the MD-80 too often, and I already have the Fly the Mad Dog X one for prepared. I was actually on the beta team for a while. I think still am, actually. I still get the emails every once in a while when they have the updates, but I have that one. I just don't have prepared installed right now, so I'm just using this one, and it's actually not too terrible. This is my first flight with it, but it's actually not too bad. It does a lot of things for you that you have to do, for yourself on the study level ones. But for an aircraft that comes with the sim, it's not too bad at all. It gives you the MD-80 feel. But what an iconic aircraft here. So we're on the taxi now. We're leaving Terminal 3. We're at gate Kilo 5. So we're going to taxi to Alpha 19 to Bravo, Echo Echo. Then it'll be a right onto November, and then a left on the Zulu, which will put us right there at 10 left. And just to give you a little history, American Airlines started acquiring these MD-80s in 1983. And I think they started with about 3 or 4, and then they expanded it from there. And what's going to replace them is 737s and A321s. But yeah, these were just quite a workhorse. It's kind of a shame to see them go. Delta's still using a lot of them, and they'll probably be the next to retire them. I don't know if they've announced anything like that yet, but that's probably coming down the pike soon. They use a lot of these, a lot of 717s. But yeah, this is actually an MD-82. The final flight was a MD-83, but it's close enough to get the feel going here. The final call sign of this flight was American Airlines Flight 80, and that flew from DFW up to O'Hare. And so what we're doing now is the O'Hare over to the Roswell, the Air Center. Where if you look on Google Maps now, they have so many of them parked out there because American Airlines has been flying these over there for a while. It didn't just start on the 4th. The 4th was just the last batch of them, the last bit of the fleet going over there. But they've been flying these to the boneyard for a while now. Kind of always like this one with the the silver that they left on it, which is pretty much just the body without the the just did the pinstripe paint. And I don't know, I always like this one. This plane is in a lot of aviation enthusiasts' heart. This is what a lot of people remember flying in, and kind of sad to see it go. Maybe some of them will go to museums. You might start to see these at air shows. But yeah, I could see them donating one. I've seen them do that, like the MD-11. FedEx had a bunch in their fleet, and they quit flying some of them. Just I heard it was because of the noise that they had to quit using some of those. But there is a museum near me that actually has one that they donated. So we're going to line up on runway 10 left.
On runway 10 left.
We'll be going up to flight level 280. On the actual flight, they went up to 28,000, and then they went down to 24,000 after a little bit, so we'll do that as well. Alright, auto throttle is armed. Looks like our speed is alive. 80 knots. V1 and rotate. Alright, we're climbing up through 1,500 feet. Like I said, we're going up to 28,000. The VNAV works pretty good. That's where it gets really quirky, because sometimes it doesn't descend properly, I found. That seems to be the main problem and the main difference from good payware aircraft. Is the VNAV is always the most buggy thing that, and that's a real problem at times. But it climbs nice on VNAV, and that also seems to be the thing that I've noticed. A lot of these aircraft, it'll climb fine. It's when you get to your descent, then it doesn't really follow it too well. Follows the speeds good though. But we just turned the autopilot on. So it's going to do the rest of it for us all the way up. Seems to manage it all right so far. Got it on the FMS mode, which gives you the glide slope fail on the primary display there. It's not supposed to when you turn that on, but it does with this. Then when you want to do an ILS approach, you kind of got to hit the FMS button again, and then it'll work for capturing the glide slope. But we'll be landing runway 3, which is will be an RNAV approach, so we won't be doing any of that anyway. Coming up through 10,000 feet now. flying 250 knots, which now will increase. I think I actually flew on one of these once, and this is back before I was really into aviation like I am now, so I didn't notice it as much, but I flew on Allegiant, and this is when Allegiant was using some of these, and yeah, I believe I was on one of those, and this was probably about 11 years ago or so, but now they've moved into 320s primarily. So we're at our cruise altitude now, 28,000 feet. Skipped ahead a little bit, kind of uneventful going up. But yeah, this is where we'll be sitting for now. Hope you guys have been enjoying the content. Trying to do a lot of how-to videos. My Zibo how-to seems to be pretty popular. If anybody out there would like a how-to video for this particular plane, I could do that if there's interest for it, because there's really not much out there for it. Some videos out there, but it's being flown improperly, I guess I would say. So they're not really of much help, but yeah, this thing is kind of quirky. It's kind of weird. It doesn't do everything the way the MD-80 should. So there are a few things you got to know that are different. But all right, so yeah, skipped ahead. Not much to see. So we're descending now. You know, I don't want to waste too much of your time here with just a bunch of nonsense. So moving into the descent phase now. We'll be going down to 6,300 feet and staying at that altitude, and then we'll be hand flying it over to Roswell again, landing runway 3. But yeah, man, just been flying X-plane a lot. Just starting to get into IL-2, which is a great combat simulator. I don't even like to really call them that. I don't like to classify that, because to me it's still a flight sim. You're still simulating aircraft, and in a lot of ways DCS and IL-2 simulate airplanes a lot better than some of these simulators. But IL-2 has really surprised me with how good that is. It's actually better than DCS in some ways, and for the longest I didn't even know about that simulator, which is crazy. So we've leveled off here at 6,300, currently going 240 knots, and we're approaching Roswell. It's going to be to our right. We'll be flying the downwind. That's kind of how they did it on the final flight. So moved ahead a little bit, and really now we're going to start our turn for the base leg. We're about 12 miles out right now from the runway. Once we're finished with this turn and we're lined up, I'm going to turn the autopilot off and we're going to hand fly it. I also don't trust the aircraft to do a good job after this point. And we've come too far to ruin it all now, so... One nice thing with this FMC is it actually lets you draw the fixes, the radial fixes. Okay, so autopilot off, auto throttle off. Aircraft is ours. Just gonna get the trim under control here and start slowing down. It's a little hazy out there, but we got the runway in sight. And let's see how we do here. This will be my first landing in this particular MD-80.
$1,000.
Alright, 5 miles out now. No payware for this one. This is just the default Roswell Airport. I did a little bit of a search, but I couldn't find one. But I took a peek at this one. It looks good enough. Not too bad at all. Runway's kind of funny. How it's got the looks like black asphalt going down the sides.
Approaching 03.
Alright, doing good so far. Everything's looking good.
$500. $400. $300. $200.
Continuing.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Alright, touchdown. Reversers out. Speed's coming down nicely. Get that brakes off. We're gonna go up to the next taxiway here.
$6,000 feet remaining. $5,000 remaining.
Alright, flaps are coming up. And up next we'll take a look at a replay. Got one angle for you today.
$300. $200.
And here we are coming in to the final resting spot of this MD-82. This is the Delta taxiway, and we'll be going Bravo. It'd be pretty cool if there was a scenery I could have gotten that had all the MD-80s out there parked, because like I said earlier, if you go on Google Maps, there's a ton of them all around. Park under this light here. I can actually use the cracks in the ground as a reference to line up straight. Alright, set our parking brake, and let's start the APU. It starts up really fast, so we won't really have to wait, and then we'll shut the engines off. Probably starts up too fast. I actually can't remember how long it took in the Fly the Mad Dog X. There it is. Get it on. And then get on the air for it. Alright. Now we can turn the engines off. And there we have it. We have arrived in Roswell, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get out, have a final look, and say farewell to the American Airlines Mad Dog. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. You guys take care. I'll see you next time.